Hello everybody, and thanks for checking out my review of the Grand Seiko SBGA413, also known as the Shunbun with the 9R65 spring drive movement. Now, special thanks to Leonardo Jewelers for access to this watch. If you're interested in purchasing a Grand Seiko or watches from many brands, visit authorized dealer leonardojewelers.com. I'll also post a link to their site in my description. Now, if you like this review, please click the like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of future videos. The Shunbun is part of Grand Seiko's Heritage Collection. This collection is exclusive to the US market and celebrates the 4 seasons. Shunbun translates to vernal equinox, which is when the spring season begins. Grand Seiko does an amazing job with their dial work and movements. The Shunbun has a subtle pink hue and the texture on the dial. It's like an artist's canvas with brush strokes inspired by cherry blossoms. I look at Grand Seiko dials like functional art. I enjoy watching the smooth sweep of the second hand from the spring drive movement that runs it, and the power reserve indicator mixes into the dial without creating any distraction. There's a lot of hand skill involved in the design and manufacturing of a Grand Seiko watch. These are not mass produced. These watches and movements are individually crafted by hand to an unbelievably high quality standard. There's so much detailing in the dial. Indexes are finished using a diamond edge cutting machine, and each index on the dial is inspected and then applied by hand. The indexes and Grand Seiko GS logo are mirror finished and applied by hand to the dial using acrylic tweezers. To look at this dial knowing how much hand craftsmanship went into it is really impressive. The sharp sword-like hands are polished along the top and also along the diamond cut edges. The date and power reserve are cut with a border around the date that matches the markers. Now there's no loom, but the polished sections on the dial reflect light well, so it's not hard to see in poorly lit rooms. These cases are made of high-intensity grade 5 titanium and hand-finished by highly trained specialists through Zaratsu polishing. These specialists require 5 years of training before they're allowed to work on a Grand Seiko case. Zaratsu polishing produces a perfectly even, distortion-free mirror finish on the polished sections of the case. Now, I've read a lot about how hard it is to work with titanium. The Zaratsu polishing used on the Shunbun is typically used on steel, so I can't imagine the extra time and work it took to get to this level of finish. Each Grand Seiko movement, be it automatic, quartz, and spring drive, are hand-assembled by master watchmakers in Japan. These movements are rated to be highly accurate, with better accuracy ratings than COSC-certified movements. The Grand Seiko Shunbun uses the innovative 9R65 spring drive movement. This unique hybrid movement marries mechanical components and quartz circuitry to create a highly innovative movement with characteristics of an automatic with the accuracy of a quartz. Spring drive does not use a battery. It features a 72-hour power reserve, and accuracy is rated to be within plus 15 seconds per month. Now, rather than ticking, the second hand provides a smooth sweep around the dial. Now, of course, automatic watches have a smooth sweeping second hand, but when you look at them close, you see some movement as they're moving at 8 beats per second. With the spring drive, there's no movement on the second hand as it glides around the dial. This watch is water resistant to 100 meters. The case is angular and so well detailed. It's 40 millimeters wide by 47 millimeters lug to lug. It's 12.8 millimeters thick, and it weighs just 102 grams. The lug width is 21 millimeters for strap changes, and the bezel and the sides of the case have that distortion-free mirror-finished polish. The brushed lugs curve downwards on the wrist, and the signed screw-down crown shows the GS Grand Seiko logo. Winding it is where you feel and hear the difference between a mechanical winding movement and the spring drive. It isn't smooth winding like you'd find on a mechanical, but more of a gritty friction type feel, which could be perceived as a bit harsher. The sapphire crystal has anti-glare coating on both sides. The back of the case is see-through with an almost translucent Grand Seiko logo, using sapphire to see the attractive decorated spring drive movement underneath. Details of the watch are etched into the titanium around the sapphire, and as you can see on the movement of the pendulum, it moves as freely as you would see on a self-winding automatic. The Shunbun has an oyster-like bracelet with polished highlights on the inner links. There's no micro adjustments, but it does have 2 half links to fine-tune your size. The clasp is small, and it opens with push buttons and scissor-like closure. Now here's how it looks on the wrist. My wrist is 7.5 inches, and with the curved case it sits nice and flat on my wrist. The case also offers drilled out lugs to make it easier for strap changes without scratching the lugs. The titanium is light, but the grade 5 has the look of steel, and it feels like it wears a little larger than a 40mm watch normally does. Grand Seiko's been stepping up their game the last few years. They worked hard to become a legit player at this segment of the market. Every detail is meticulously overseen through the manufacturing process, and what you get is incredibly high quality. Their dial work is the best in its category. The spring drive movement is one of the most modern innovations in watchmaking. With the amount of hand skill, design, and engineering that goes into these watches, you're getting great value. Grand Seiko has earned a lot of respect, and it's well deserved. Many other brands have been creative, but I can't think of designs that are so inspired and detailed like these dials you see on Grand Seiko watches. These heritage models can easily compete with models like Rolex Datejust and the Omega Aquaterra. There's only two things that I would really personally nitpick that would make them the perfect watches for me, and that would be to offer some level of micro adjustment to size the bracelet perfectly on the fly, and the other is I wish they would add lume to the hands and the markers to be able to read the time in the dark. But again, this is just nitpicking. The watch is incredible. So that's it for my review of the Grand Seiko Shunbun. If you enjoyed this review, please click the thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of future reviews. Please leave comments and feedback below. I always like to read and respond. And if you love this or other Grand Seiko watches, they could be purchased at Grand Seiko authorized dealer Leonardo Jewelers. Visit leonardojewelers.com. Now you can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and X, which is formerly known as Twitter, at DougFNJ. Also, please visit DougFNJWatches.com. I'm an authorized dealer of LumeTech watches. So I want to thank you so much for watching. Be safe and have a great day.